Wow. Yeah, I was gonna continue working on my writing tonight, and then I joined Nappy Headed Jojoba's Patreon and just saw some stories that I feel like we have to talk about here. Man. Okay, so I guess this is all over the Shade Room. So if you follow them, you might have already seen the story. If not, let's just summarize. There's a woman who is leaving an event with her friend. This is a black woman. She's finds herself in the parking lot. Looks like possibly alone, probably walking to her car. A stranger asks for her number. She says no. He proceeds to pick up a brick and kind of antagonize her with this brick. Then he proceeds to like hit her in the face with the brick. And so she wasn't alone here. Like she had a friend who she went to the bar with, but when she was walking out, she was no longer with her friend, so she was among strangers. And it looks like there were only black males in this parking lot full of strangers, including the black male who has the brick. He proceeds to like hit her in the face with the brick. So while she's telling the story, she is in the emergency room. Her entire face is like swelled up and she's crying. She's saying, and then she also has another video where she's in the parking lot. And she's all like, oh my god, like nobody protected me. So I'll let you guys like watch this and listen to her, and we'll come right back.
To anybody in my life to deserve this. I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, what are you gonna do? And I told all these men, like, yo, why is this man got a brick on my face? And he's holding a brick. And all these is watching. And nobody does nothing. And he hits me in my face, and they're all just watching. And they let that get in a car. How is this okay? This is what y'all doing to women? They, like, don't understand, like... I'm just trying to take my friend out from 5 years ago. Like, literally spending my own money, not bothering nobody. Like, what the kind of is this? I'm in the parking lot just trying to buy some food. And, like, I'm literally like, why is this busting up on me like this? And I'm looking at all these. They literally let this do all of this. They let like, really, like, do all of that. I never thought it was gonna happen, yo. Like, it's so whack. And he's gonna get away with it. He got in a car. He got away. He's never gonna get caught. He's gonna move on. He's probably at an after party right now having a good time. Do you feel good about yourself doing this to a woman? For what? Like, all this violence against black women is not okay. Like, what do I do to deserve this? Like, what is my defense against this? Still, it's been 12 hours. I'm in the hospital. I'm getting discharged. I do have a concussion, so I gotta take it slow for a week. Unfortunately, I don't have the kind of job that's gonna give me that kind of grace. So, I still got a mother. I still gotta teach. I still gotta work. I really just want the best for everybody, and I don't know why people want to kill me. I can't even chew food the next week. I had a vacation that I planned 6 months ago for my birthday. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. Like, why do people want to hurt me so bad?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the most interesting part about this is I feel like I was as naive as that woman maybe like 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago, I too used to be like, oh my God, males are going to protect me. Like black males care about me or whatever. And I feel like if I see more stories like this, I'm going to cover it. But you will get to a point in your, hopefully I have some black women subscribers, or even if you're just a woman, like you will start to understand this. Like there are men in society who care about their families. They are trying to protect their own families. a lot of them don't really have the capacity to go past that, and some of them don't even really have the capacity to truly protect their family. There's like artificial protection, right? Like you can try to do certain things like live in a good neighborhood, just be a good citizen. And so this woman kind of hints at that. She's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything in my life to deserve this. And so this comes back to this like sort of like moral, how do you say it, like moral reasoning that some people do, or they say like the people who do the bad things happen to those people. And they try to look for extreme examples of this, and then they try to, I always see this in terms of like Muslim and Islam religions, where they are like looking for karmic retribution, and they're like, oh, this happened to you because you did this. Oh, that woman, she was raped because she didn't listen to her father when she was 3, or some other bullshit reason, right? They love to like pull out examples like this. And so this woman, she's crying and she's saying that, you guys heard her, right? She's like, oh, what did I do? I didn't do anything. That's not how society works. And I really hope that more Black women wake the fuck up to like see certain things as they are. Also, I'm going to insert another clip that's the other woman I was talking about the other day in Young Blue's case, where he leaves her in the car with these 6 guys. So I'm going to insert that one, and we'll come right back.
We get off the private jet, and then we go into this little black truck. That's when I'm introduced to about 5 or 6. I wouldn't even say introduced, because he didn't introduce me. He didn't introduce nobody to me. So I'm just sitting there looking like, okay. It wasn't no beverages. It wasn't no champagne in the middle. It wasn't shit.
So he allegedly slid in her DMs, asked her to dress like a boy. She agrees to it, goes on a private jet where he does not talk to her or offer her a beverage, flies to a black truck where 5 or 6 more men are there, and they also don't talk to her.
So now, in both of these cases, you can like clearly see that like these women need to make an escape. And for some reason, they have an artificial sense of safety. First of all, if you're talking to a guy and he picks up a brick, just know that there's like a 50% chance that he's going to try to like hurt you with it like that. If somebody picks up a weapon and they're like literally aiming it at you, I don't know what she thought. Like she was trying to negotiate with the dude with the brick. Like, first of all, girl, there's no negotiation that needs to happen. You need to run. And it looks like she was trying to like wait for someone to protect her. Like, no one's coming to save you. If anybody is coming at you with a fucking brick, run away. Like, at no point was she just like standing there. Someone will save me. Like, bro, sometimes you gotta like literally use your own intuition and common fucking sense. Try to run. Try to make an escape. Even as she's telling the story, no part of it is like, I tried to escape. I was screaming and running and panicking for justice and nobody helped me. She was like sitting there like waiting for a group of other people to come and rescue her. Like, this is where, I mean, I will give men some slack, where it's kind of like probably if there's some crazy dude with a brick or something, he could hurt other men too with the brick, and so maybe everyone's afraid. That's possible. But also, this is what I'm saying. This is the type of society in which we live, where someone could literally be threatening your life and nobody's going to try to help or save you. Nobody cares. They don't care. Nobody cares. And I feel like other Black women are obviously talking about this because Black women have a certain amount of empathy for each other, just because we've seen so much brutality like in this country. And now we've seen so much brutality amongst Black males. I'm just going to insert another clip by like Nappy Headed Jojoba here, who makes this, to me, it just makes a lot of sense, like what she's saying. So maybe watch for yourself and let me know what you think.
That he wouldn't be embarrassed in front of these other males who did fuck all to intervene. And I know that a lot of people are making the comment about, you know, these other guys didn't want to get involved because they probably have families, they probably have to protect themselves. But I'm getting to a point now where, as these incidents continue to be filmed, I'm not going to say continue to occur because they are nothing new, and we'll get into that into a moment. But as these incidents continue to be filmed and published to the internet, that defense is getting thinner and thinner for me, because it's just giving coward. If that's where we're at, where you're going to legit stand there when a male is winding up with a brick as if he's going to hit a woman in the face, and you're not going to intervene at all, as another male to try to protect her. I mean, it's always been clear that we are all we got as Black women, but it's getting realer than real out here. And I just want to reiterate, I don't think that any of these incidents of violence are anything new. These are not new situations and new types of attacks and violence against women perpetrated by males who feel entitled to us. I don't think that that's new. I think what's new is the awareness in the general public. And I think the awareness is increasing because we now have cameras in our pockets as well as data plans. A corollary I can give is that, George Floyd, that was not indicative of pigs all of a sudden executing Black people. Like, they've been doing that the whole time, and we've been saying so the whole time. All of this shit has been happening since day none. The difference is that now others can see it. It's being recorded. So the things that some of us as women have been raised to be aware of and to, be on defense for even before things start. Sometimes that includes crossing the street as soon as you get a bad vibe. I do it all the time. I don't feel like things are necessarily worse in terms of the number of incidents. I think it's just worse because these incidents are being published to the interweb. And frankly, my takeaway from this is pretty much what I said with the incident of the male who was following the lady at the festival thing. It's like, if you haven't already, learn how to carry something to protect yourself, whether it's some mace, whether it's some bear mace, which you can get at a camping and outdoors store, whether it is a blade, whether you get a concealed carry weapon. Even though I don't feel that the world was ever safe for me as a woman, especially when I'm out moving through the world solo, I definitely feel like my consistency with carrying a weapon has gone up significantly to approximately 100% of the time over the past couple of years. This is not a response to this brick incident. I've been doing that for quite some time because I think people have generally gotten more hyphy since COVID. But I do think that danger was always there and it was always lurking. And one of the best things you can do is whip out the phone and protect yourself if you don't have anything on you. And one of the best things you can do is whip out the phone and protect yourself if you don't have anything on you. Because, if someone thinks maybe you're going live, I have seen, in fact, videos of women who were being followed to their cars or followed in parking lots, whatever the case. And the male following the woman backs off once she makes it clear that he's being recorded and that she's in fact streaming. It's something. It's better than nothing. So to all my ladies out there, I don't think it's going to get better, unfortunately, at least not anytime soon. If anything, a lot of these males are becoming perhaps more emboldened to act on the conditioning and misogyny and misogynoir that has always been there. So it's impossible to quantify if it is indeed an uptick in these incidents, but this is nothing new in terms of my perception of the danger that lurks outside, but it is more unsettling to have faces to put to it, to have such details to put to it. You would always hear about things that happen to people or people who know someone else and such happened to her. But these incidents on the internet definitely kind of ramp up the alertness that I think a lot of us may have, felt the entire time.
Like, again, these situations and these instances aren't new. There is a lot of violence that's perpetuated against Black women. There just is, and a lot of it stems from like rap culture. But like, you're alive now, so unfortunately if you're a Black woman, you've been drafted to this team. And some of us do have survival strategies that have like helped us get this far. And what I mean by that is just being alive. Like, obviously, like, you see there's like literal threats on your life. Like, other Black males are trying to actually kill you. Not all of them, but the number seems to be growing. And we have like direct instances of this happening. Like, the rap songs come out every day, every single day, about like how much they want to kill you. And the frequency of them isn't dropping. Like, It isn't getting better. Nobody's stopping the violence. As you see, there's no like concerted effort to try to like fix anything. It seems to just kind of get worse and worse every day. And the reason why I keep talking about like promoting black male abortion, like I don't want any more passive bystanders. Like, I'm sorry, but those people are useless in society too. Like, all the men who just watched a brick be thrown at a woman and didn't do anything, one day that's going to be their daughter who's going to be sitting on her own, just walking to her car after having a snack with a friend. Now there's a dude with a brick who's going to just hit her in the head with the brick, and there's no male who's going to save her because, right, everybody has a family, everybody has something going on. So that's why you shouldn't be decent. Those men need to be eliminated. Be serious. Like, why? They can't protect themselves, they can't protect any women in society, just nobody. What is their purpose? They're purposeless. Clearly, everyone just sat around watching. They didn't even like say anything as she's like sitting there like crying. They didn't give her empathy, so they gaslit her feelings. They didn't give her protection. They literally watched her get hit in the face with a brick. Probably, if she would have died, I don't even know if they would have called the police. But I highly doubt that anyone would have taken any sort of corrective action that would have tried to like preserve life or preserve dignity, which is something that's innate to like human survival and potential. It isn't happening. Like, you can only hope for so much when all of the fucking evidence is there and it just keeps coming out and we keep seeing it. Like, all I'm saying is like black women are in the closest proximity to these like violent black males, and we keep seeing it. Like, and so it's very important to first of all distance yourself, like actually remove yourself from that happening. Like, Nappy Headed Jojoba makes a really good point where she's like, if I see somebody coming on the side of the street, I will go to the other side of the street. But I will also say, like, this is just like what we're seeing. I feel like is like a normal thing that males do in any society. Like, when males are, and this happens amongst white men, Latino men, all of them. Like, when men get to a point where like they don't feel like they have purpose, they actually don't have a purpose, so like they don't value like their families, like whatever it is, they start acting out in like really crazy ways. And just imagine, like, women bring life. Like, women are very valuable in society. If you are at an inhumane place where you watch, like, this is happening all over India, actually. It's something that we've seen quite a lot amongst people of color, brown people, where Indian men are just throwing acid on Indian women. Malala has a whole book about it. You can go on YouTube and find a ton of like acid burn victims. There's documentaries about it. Men feel so violated, or they feel so, I don't know what the proper terms are. The sense of rejection is so strong that they decide to throw acid on women so that women now have no beauty because they rejected a male. That's the real situation. That's what's really happening. And this instance with a brick is another example of this. It's time to call a spade and like just really understand, like, you have to protect your life first. Like, your life is valuable. And I will say there's so much growth that happens from separation. There's a lot of growth that happens. And a really big part of that growth is talking about how you got to that place of separation. Like, me making this channel is kind of like me just trying to leave breadcrumbs for, even if it's just one other girl who comes behind me and can at least see like how far I got. Because I'm telling you, like, a lot of people tried to take my life away. Like, quite a lot. I don't know why. It's like a concerted effort to be like, let's kill Olivia. But in the same way that other black woman, she said it. She's like, why do they keep trying to kill me? What did I do to them? You didn't do anything, girl. It actually isn't you. They just hate black women. And they're like almost like socially conditioned to. And you didn't do anything. Like, there's nothing that you could have done to make it better. But also there's nothing that you did to make it worse. Like, you don't deserve this. You don't. Probably the only other people who will empathize with you are other black women, because obviously, but also like it isn't your fault. Like, you didn't do anything, but like you also have to be real about society and the way that society is right now.